Listen, imagine the small town of Rosario in Argentina, narrow streets, the smell of fresh bread from the bakery, the taste of dust on your shoes when you run along the cobblestones with a ball. Here, among the usual and simple things, a boy was born who would change the history of football. Lionel Messi. Thousands of children chase the ball every day. Thousands dream of big stadiums. But why exactly did he become a legend? Let's figure it out together. He was a very small, fragile, almost thin boy with a big heart and an even bigger desire to play. The ball became his world. When he ran around the yards, it seemed that time stood still. Every kick, every touch of the ball was like a prayer. I want to become better. He did not have rich clubs or luxurious training grounds. He only had an old garage door, stone walls, and an endless desire. His first coaches immediately noticed something special. Although he was small, his technique, his ability to read the game and anticipate the movements of his opponents was not just talent. It was something magical. But no one knew then that not only triumphs, but also great challenges awaited him. Imagine little Leo standing in the stadium with his local team for the first time in his life on a real field, with huge stands and the smell of fresh grass mixing with the dust. He is scared. He is tiny against the backdrop of such giants. But inside there is a fire burning. This is not just a game. This is his chance. And he is not wasting it. The first goals, the first victories, the first applause. All this became fuel for his dream. He understood. To go further, he would have to work harder than anyone, make sacrifices, endure pain and failures. But his dream had already grown bigger than any fear. This beginning is not about fame, not about trophies. It is about the heart, about the desire to move forward, about a little boy who decided that he would be great and did not care how difficult the path ahead was. And it is this path, full of contrasts between the simplicity and the grandeur of the dream, that will become the foundation for the legend that we will learn later. Imagine that you are standing in front of a bright hospital room, the smell of antiseptic and the cold of metal instruments. Little Lionel is here not because of an injury on the field, but because of his own body. His body refused to grow as it should, to play on a par with other children. He was diagnosed with growth hormone deficiency. Each injection is a small syringe of pain. Each day is a struggle between a child's thirst for the ball and physical limitations. Here began the first major crisis. In the world of football, thousands of talented guys are lost due to simple circumstances, and many think that this is the end of the dream. Lionel had a choice: give up or fight. His small body often could not withstand the stress of training. He lagged behind his peers in physical training. But his brain, heart, and soul worked twice as fast as everyone else. Imagine the training scene on the narrow field of Rosario. He runs last, touches the ball gently, passes by pain and fatigue, and every touch reminds him, I am stronger than this. His friends and coaches began to notice that his physical weakness did not stop his creativity, quick reactions, and incredible sense of the game. This crisis taught him his first big lesson. When your body is limited, your mind and technique become your key. His small size became an advantage, a low center of gravity, quick turns, incredible balance. What had seemed like a problem turned into his secret strength. Imagine him standing outside after training, tired and dirty, looking at the horizon and dreaming of big stadiums. He knows that the fight is just beginning. The first trials have made him stronger, taught him not to give up and to find ways where others see only barriers. It was the moment when childhood fear of failure became fuel for dreams. The first crises showed that greatness comes not from talent, but from resilience, from the ability to turn limitations into advantages. And it was this lesson that would become the basis for the next step forward, the first real victories in big football. Imagine the moment when little Lionel, still thin and tiny, but full of inner energy, arrives in Barcelona. It is a completely different world. Huge stadiums, the smell of fresh turf mixed with the sweet aroma of grass after rain, the roar of the stands, which seems like a distant dream, but already touches his heart. Every street, every turn of the field, every sound of the soccer ball here said one thing. You are not just a player here. You are here to change the game. The move was a shock for him and his family. A new city, a new culture, a foreign language. Imagine a little boy standing on the threshold of the training base, feeling scared and excited at the same time. His heart was beating wildly. His hands were shaking a little, and the dream that had once lived only in the narrow streets of Rosario was now starting to take shape. Here he learned his first big lesson. A dream doesn't work by itself. It has to be earned. In training, he immediately felt the difference. Around him, stronger, taller, faster. Some coaches even doubted. Would this little guy be able to withstand the competition? But Leo did not see obstacles. He saw opportunities. Every small movement, every touch of the ball, every combination became his language, a way to prove that he was worthy of being here. The first matches were nerve-wracking. Imagine his first official appearance on the field. The stands were still empty, but the feeling of grandeur was already hanging over him. It seemed to him that his heart was about to jump out of his chest. But when the ball was at his feet, the fear dissipated. He beat his opponents, felt the rhythm of the game, saw opportunities that others missed. Every goal, every pass strengthened his confidence. It was difficult. The first defeats, criticism from coaches, pressure that is difficult to understand if you are still a child. He cried in the empty corridors of the base after hard training, feeling that the whole world was watching and evaluating. But strength was born in these tears. Every defeat became a lesson, every criticism, motivation to work even harder. And then came the moment that changed everything. His first big goal for Barcelona's youth team. Imagine the explosion of emotions, the ball in the net, the wild screams, the applause from his teammates. It wasn't just a goal, it was proof that his dream was alive, that he could make the impossible possible. He understood, talent is only half the battle. The other half is the courage not to give up and the ability to seize every opportunity. This stage taught him another important principle. To become great, you need to act boldly, not be afraid to take risks, and constantly look for new ways to grow. The little boy from Rosario was turning into a player who not only understood the game, but also changed its rhythm, creating moments that remain in the memory forever. The first steps forward were difficult, painful, but they laid the foundation of a legend. Here he learned to turn difficulties into energy, uncertainty into motivation, and every training day into a step towards greatness. And it is from this moment that the true story of Lionel Messi begins, a story of struggle, dreams, and the incredible triumph that is yet to come. Imagine the vast Camp Nou stadium, the smell of fresh turf, the thick green grass glistening after the rain, the sound of the stands vibrating in your chest, and thousands of eyes focused on the pitch. Here he is no longer just a little boy from Rosario. Here Lionel Messi begins to transform into a legend. It was the moment when talent ceased to be just a gift of nature. A real transformation began, physical, mental, strategic. He had to change everything. His approach to training, his understanding of the game, his strategy on the field. Every detail, from the speed of his reactions to the accuracy of his passes, became part of his new self. Barcelona's first major award, their first real trophy, is not just a medal. It is a symbol that a little boy from the streets of Rosario is capable of conquering the vast world of football. Imagine the scene after the match. Leo stands on the pitch, holding the trophy. The camera catches the light reflecting off his eyes. The stands roar, and inside him burns with understanding. He has only just begun. The transformation wasn't limited to physical play. His mindset changed. He began to see the game several moves ahead, anticipate opponents' moves, create moments that made people applaud with delight. He stopped being just a player. He became a conductor who set the rhythm of the team. But there were also defeats on the path of transformation. Every failure, every criticism from journalists, every missed goal. These were tests that could break even the strongest. And Lionel learned to turn them into motivation. Imagine the moment after a difficult match, when he sits alone in the locker room, sees his reflection in the mirror, and says to himself, "Next time it will be different." This discipline, this inner demand on himself, became the secret of his success. The support of the team, coaches, and family played an important role in the transformation. They helped him maintain a balance between immense fame and humanity, not to let his pride and professional growth fly away. It was thanks to this that he learned to lead the team not only through words, but also through example, through actions on the field, through the energy that he transmitted to every player around him. This stage taught him another key lesson. To become a legend, talent alone is not enough. You need to change yourself, constantly improve, not be afraid to take risks, and accept responsibility. His transformation is a lesson for everyone. True greatness is born in moments of testing, when you are ready to change yourself for the sake of a dream. And then begins a global breakthrough. The world recognizes his name, stadiums become his home, and the ball at Lionel's feet is an instrument capable of creating history. Now he is not just a Barcelona player. He is the heart of the team, a symbol of a new generation, a man who turns any game into a spectacle watched by millions. Imagine a stadium packed with people, the floodlights glaring at you, the smell of fresh grass, and the electric tension in the air. This is the moment when Lionel Messi is no longer just a Barcelona player. He has become the symbol of a new generation of football, the one the world is talking about. His goals are now not just counted, they change history. Records one after another, dozens of goals scored, crazy combinations that leave opponents without a chance. Imagine a Champions League match. The ball at Messi's feet, the opponents are tense, the stands are screaming, the heart is beating wildly. And with one touch, he creates a moment that remains in the memory forever. This is not just a game. This is the magic that he creates. The world began to pay attention to him. Ballon d'Or awards, the title of the best player in the world, comparisons with football legends. But even in this brilliance, amidst the lights of the cameras and loud ovations, Lionel remained the same boy from Rosario, who adored the ball and felt the joy of every touch with it. Imagine the scene after the match. The camera catches his gaze, he is calm, focused, and even among the millions of fans and cameras of social noise, you can see his inner discipline and desire to be better tomorrow than today. It was a lesson for everyone. Even when you are on top of the world, work and desire remain the main engine of success. His global breakthrough was not just about technique and speed. He taught everyone that football is more than a game. It is the art of foresight, courage, and teamwork. His interaction with teammates, his ability to create opportunities for others, made him a true leader, not through words, but through actions, through the energy he transmitted to everyone around him. Despite his immense success, there were also setbacks. Conceded goals in crucial matches, criticism from the press, injuries that forced him to sit on the bench. And each such setback became fuel for a new rise. He learned to turn failure into motivation, every crisis into a chance to show who he really is. And then came the moment when the whole world started saying one thing. This is Messi. His name became synonymous with genius, inspiration, and incredible resilience. The little boy from the narrow streets of Rosario became a global symbol of football, proof that talent, when combined with hard work, discipline, and passion, can conquer the world. This stage of his life taught us all a lesson. A real breakthrough comes when talent meets perseverance and courage. When you are not afraid to take risks, when every defeat becomes a stepping stone to the top. Messi showed that even the world, which seems huge and unattainable, submits to those who go towards their dreams with full dedication. Imagine the huge stadium of Barcelona, but this time it feels a little different. The huge roar of the stands mixes with the cold criticism of the press. The eyes of the fans closely follow his every move, and even millions of fans around the world cannot change the pressure hanging over him. Lionel Messi is no longer just a footballer. He is a symbol, and every mistake feels like a personal tragedy, and every success, like a saving oasis in the storm of expectations. The modern challenges began with physical and psychological hardships, injuries that knocked him out of his rhythm, changes in coaches, new tactics, the need to adapt to the modern pace of football. Imagine him sitting in the locker room after a tough match, his face tired, and his thoughts racing. What next? Can I stay at the top? These moments forced him to reflect on his own limitations and rethink his role in the team. One of the biggest challenges was saying goodbye to Barcelona, the club that had been his childhood home. Imagine the scene. The stands are crying. The camera is on every move. His steps feel heavy, as if he is leaving not just the team, but a part of himself. Moving to a new club is a risk, new rules, different expectations, new partners. It is a moment when even a legend feels the fear of the unknown. But Lionel has learned to turn crisis into fuel. Every injury, every critical headline, every moment of doubt is an incentive to work even harder, to find new ways and show the world that true greatness is not in fame, but in the ability to rise after falling. His game becomes more intelligent than fast, more precise than spectacular. He becomes a master of adaptation, showing that even under pressure it is possible to remain creative and effective. Imagine him training at night after a long flight. Just him, the ball and the floodlights on the training pitch. His body is tired, but his mind is clear and his heart is full of faith. It's a scene that repeats itself over and over again. Proof that true legends are not made just on matches, but in those quiet hours when no one sees your efforts. The challenges of today have taught him another principle. Greatness does not depend on past achievements. It depends on the ability to change, learn, adapt, and move forward, even when the whole world looks at you with expectation and doubt. Lionel has shown that even after triumph, you have to fight for every match, for every goal, for every moment. This stage of his life is a lesson for everyone. Don't be afraid of change. Don't be afraid of loss. Don't be afraid to step out of your comfort zone. Greatness comes to those who bravely look into the unknown and turn any crisis into a chance to become better. Imagine the silence before a match. The stadium is filled with anticipation. The smell of fresh turf mingles with the cool evening air. The stands are full of fans, and the heart beats with an acceleration that does not disappear even after thousands of matches. Lionel Messi is no longer the young boy from Rosario. He has become a symbol of world football, but now he is on the verge of a new stage in his career. He is not 20 years old, and every match, every training session, every goal is not just a game, but a conscious choice to continue to inspire, to continue to lead the team, to leave a legacy. There are challenges ahead that are not measured by goals or records alone. He has to adapt to a body that is no longer returning to its peak as quickly as before, to younger teams that come and want to take his place. Imagine him in the locker room, watching the new generation, passing on experience, commenting, giving advice, and preparing for his own matches, knowing that every mistake is now more noticeable and every success is even more valuable. But it is this limit that makes his story all the more significant. It reminds us that true leadership is not just about scoring brilliant goals, but about staying motivated, adapting to change, setting an example for others, and accepting limitations with dignity. His legacy is not just about the numbers on the scoreboard, but about the impact he had on his team, the example he set for young players, and the inspiration he had for millions of people around the world. Imagine him stepping onto the field with the ball, looking up at the stands, and feeling a sense of responsibility. These are his final years at the peak of his game, and every moment counts. This is not the end, but the culmination, a time when he can pass the baton, leave a legacy, and continue to be an example for the next generation. His career has reached a crucial point, and he stands on the threshold of choosing how to end his great journey. The present teaches him new lessons: wisdom in leading a team, patience in dealing with physical limitations, resilience in the face of criticism, and the ability to enjoy every moment of the game. It is a time to rethink, evaluate what has been achieved, and plan for what will remain after it. And even at this stage, the strength of his spirit is visible. He shows that a true legend is not only about records, but also about the ability to remain yourself, inspire others, and accept the changes that are inevitable. Messi is no longer a young genius, but he is becoming a wise leader who prepares his legacy and makes sure that every step, every match, is meaningful. This part of his story reminds us all, even when you are at the top, when you are no longer young, the most important thing is to stay committed to your dream, to learn, adapt, and inspire others. True greatness is not only manifested in numbers and awards, but in the ability to pass on your experience, not to stop and keep moving forward, even when the limits of your capabilities seem closer than ever.